Hey, how's everybody doing? It's a beautiful day. It is Wednesday, September 14th, 2022. Hope you are all doing well. Thank you for being here today, everybody. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff going on in this world, a lot of crazy stuff going on in this world. We got a lot to talk about, my friends. We got a lot. We just got off the scanner. Where I was on the scanner, I heard they were talking about a shooting at a high school in Lancaster, California. And well, I thought we were going to have to just drop everything and cover that, but it turned out apparently it was just a false alarm. But yeah, I was thinking, man, can you imagine these poor kids today, what they got to worry about going to school, all the craziness that they've got to deal with, worrying about school shootings. Times have changed since I was a kid. When we went to school, man, it was about having fun. Poor kids today. But we'll take a quick look. Lucky Lady's in the house. Lucky Lady says, hey, everyone. Thank you for being here, Lucky Lady. I appreciate you being here. Let me take a look here. Let's show you guys and girls what's going on. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about the Lancaster High School lockdown. We'll talk about the United States rail strike. That's a big deal. Potentially happening on Friday. If they don't come to some kind of an agreement, materials carried by rail are safely transported without hurting workers. The White House actions were described by multiple people with the knowledge of the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe internal planning. Let me see. At issue as a dispute between the railway carriers and two unions representing 57,000 conductors and engineers over attendance policies. A federal mandated cooling off period ends on Friday, which opens the possibility of a strike if employees refuse to go to work, or a lockout if the carriers refuse to let workers do their jobs. We're not that far apart in negotiations, said Dennis Pierce, president of the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen, one of the unions that has not reached a deal. He said that the carrier BNSF and Union Pacific are holding up negotiations. In the meantime, some freight carriers have begun limiting services, suspending hazmat shipments, and parking trains in what appears to be preparation for a lockout, according to union officials and labor experts. Amtrak, which carries passengers on freight lines on Monday, canceled some of their long-distance routes, ruining travel plans for hundreds of passengers. Well, that's got to be very frustrating for all those passengers that had made plans months and months in advance. Jessica Kahanik, spokesperson for the Association of American Railroads, a freight rail industry group, said that the carriers are not planning a lockout on Friday if ongoing negotiations remain unresolved. Biden appointed an emergency board in July to mediate this dispute following 2 years of negotiations between 6 of the largest freight carriers and 12 unions that represent railroad workers. 9 unions have reached tentative agreements with carriers based on the board's recommendations, leaving the 2 largest unions without a deal in place. A smaller union, the Brotherhood of Railroad Signalmen, struck down a tentative deal with the carriers on Monday night and has returned to the bargaining table. So, so these guys are just wanting more time off, whatever. Everybody's getting pay increases right now. Very concerning, because where does this put the employers? What kind of a situation are we going to have? Very bad deal for the country. Very bad deal for the passengers on Amtrak. I feel for all of them. Very concerning situation if this does happen, which I hope it does not. I hope they come to some kind of an agreement, because a shutdown, could not even imagine how chaotic that would be. Talking about commuter chaos. This is just it's a real bad deal. Transit systems across the country were on edge Wednesday amid the threat of a freight rail worker strike, making preparations ahead of possible travel disruptions that could affect hundreds of thousands of rail customers. Amtrak is canceling all its long-distance trains starting Thursday. Some regional transit agencies said that they are preparing for service stoppages as early as Thursday evening ahead of the 12 a.m. Friday shutdown. They are wrapping up plans to communicate with commuters if a strike is not averted. and some are working with other agencies to direct people to bus alternatives. The disruptions to passenger systems that operate on freight lines would be felt across several major metropolitan areas, including